welcome back to Art with Miss Choate. I hope you had a wonderful weekend and maybe you joined us for that gratitude tree. If you didn't, you should check that out. You could do it as a family or by yourself. And so what we're going to be doing today for Art in the Studio Monday morning, we are going to be doing a foil painting, drawing, and this can be done with scrap foil that maybe you wrapped a loaf of bread in. Before you throw it away, let's use it for some art. So we're going to need a piece of foil, we're going to need either cardboard, something stiff like a piece, like maybe plastic like a lid, and we're going to be putting some texture on that cardboard and then wrapping our foil and then drawing on it with Sharpies or any permanent marker or potentially permanent paint as well, depending on what supplies you have in your home. So let's get started. So you're going to need to start with either a piece of cardboard, and it could be from any box, or if you can't find any, maybe we could use this side of our styrofoam plate that we used for painting before, or worst comes to worst, even a heavy piece of paper can work. Since I have cardboard, that's what I'm going to use, and you need a piece of foil big enough to wrap one side of this cardboard. So even if it's crumpled up, that's fine. I think it adds texture and interest, and you can flatten that out. Or if you don't have any used foil in the house, then you could just get a piece of new foil. The next thing we're going to be doing is attaching string, twine, thread, anything that we can to this cardboard to give it texture. You can also use like twigs, vines of a plant that maybe have died, maybe crumpled up tissue. Anything can be put under here and then have the foil wrapped on top. I do recommend not getting too far away from the cardboard. Try to keep it minimal relief, so minimal distance going up, off. So, thread, yarn, twine, that works really well. In my experience, stick glue doesn't work well for this. If you have wet glue, it could work, or because it won't show, I'm just going to use tape, and you can tape it down. And think about the design it's creating. Have it work. Talk about line. Line has a start and an end. I kind of like how it's doing this twirl on itself. So manipulate it. And it's okay if you do a decent amount of tape or not a lot of tape. It doesn't really matter either way. Depends how much control you want over it. I like how that's looking. I think I want the space over here filled in a little bit. And it doesn't matter what color of string that you're using or whatever you're ending up. Like you could even use that pointillism day. I could add this to there. Really any scraps will do. I don't like that there. And now we're going to wrap it in foil. So you can choose either side if you are reusing foil. I'm actually going to flip it over so I can make sure that we're wrapping it like a gift. The whole back doesn't need to be covered. Mine probably will be big enough, but not that that matters. And then you really don't need to put tape, that will stay, but if you feel like you need it a little more secure, you can. And now we're gonna push in so we can really see that design that we created. Really work your fingers in there. And look at that. So the more you put, the more lines there will be. You could decide if you don't think this is enough, you could unwrap it and put down more, but then you probably will need a new piece of foil. You might be able to flatten it enough. And now we're going to take our Sharpies to it. Any non-washable will work. If you try to use a washable on top of the foil, if you remember from our printmaking demo, if you use washable, it'll just wipe right away. So if you only have that option at home, you could do it, just make sure not to smudge it, and then you won't be able to like put your hands on top of it, which is fine. So I like to start by outlining those lines. So maybe you pick one color, maybe you go through a bunch of colors. Be careful, you can put a hole in your foil, so talk about drawing gently. I always refer to it as like petting a cat. You don't want to be pushing hard. You're very gentle. So make sure we're staying gentle. And I like to go on both sides of the lines. You don't have to. This is totally your creative freedom. What do you want to do? How much do you want to outline? Or maybe you don't want to outline it. Maybe we just want to start coloring. And then from there, we could think about those continuous circles we were drawing before. We could go around and around. Or we could turn it into, maybe if you turn it this way, you see a landscape or a waterfall. I'm not sure. Whatever you want to turn it into. And obviously yours is going to look different because you put your lines on different, or maybe you didn't have twine. Maybe you had, you know, just a collection of recycling that got put onto the cardboard. So maybe take a minute and look at it. What do you see? Have a plan before you start going into it. I was just thinking about cool colors. Remember, cool is the blue, purple, and green. So I might want to stay with that kind of profile. Maybe I do one area of hot colors. Remember, hot are red, orange, and yellow. And you could try to make this look realistic. You could have taken your thread and tried to make a portrait. With art, the options are quite endless. I think I might put that spot as a hot spot with reds and orange. So maybe I'll just fill this all up. And just keep going with it. That color doesn't show up very well. Let's go into this hot. And I think some of the colors really pop more on the foil than others. And you can even layer them if I wanted that all orange and then put some red. Maybe a little red up here. Remember, take your time. And keep working it until the whole thing is colored in, or until you feel like it's done. And there we go. Now I am done. And I really like the way the light reflects off it. This might be something nice to put in the window. And you can see that texture of those lines underneath, how it comes off the page, the relief. I hope you had fun with us today making our Sharpie drawing with texture. And remember, if you have any feedback or you want to see me do something in the future, just drop a comment below or put it on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, any of those platforms. I check all my comments and I try to make sure that if you're giving me something you want to do, I will do it later on in the week. So just let me know what you want. Please like, subscribe, comment, pass this along. I really do appreciate the sharing that's been happening of my videos. So please continue that if you enjoy today's video. So have a wonderful day and hope to see you tomorrow for Art with Miss Choate Tuesday. Bye.